Hello, hello, and welcome back to another car conversation. I don't know why that came out funny. Hello, hello, and welcome back to another car conversation. Again, I'm still inside. It's extremely hot. It's still over 100 degrees here where I live in California, so I'm still inside. Um, the ear. I wanted to talk to you about the ear, y'all. The ear has finally made its debut. 45 has finally allowed his ear to be seen. And I have to say, I do not see any scar tissue at all. None whatsoever. And like I said repeatedly, and if you didn't watch that video, please watch it. Like I said repeatedly, the math was not mathing. Nothing was adding up. Every day the story was changing. And lo and behold, now we finally see the ear, and there is no damage to the ear. So on Thursday, head of FBI, Christopher Wray, came out and said that, and I want to get this right, there is some question about whether or not the bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear, whether or not there was a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear. So there's a question whether or not either one of these two things even hit the ear. He goes on to say, but I believe that we have accounted for all the shots of the cartridges, meaning that they have accounted for all of the bullets that were released from the shooter's gun. So what does that mean? Let's translate that. This means I don't know what hit 45's ear. It could have been some shrapnel. Possibly the ear could have been grazed by a bullet. But all the bullets from the gun that the shooter had have been accounted for. And apparently, none of those bullets were a bullet that nicked or grazed 45's ear. So, yeah. And so he came out and said that, and then the internet caught on fire, right? Especially after seeing the ear. So we got this information on Thursday, and then yesterday we were able to see the ear, and we saw no damage to the ear. Like, I wasn't expecting necessarily Evander Holyfield after Mike Tyson ear, but I definitely was not expecting the completely undamaged ear that I saw clearly in two different photos. So I'm going to go ahead and say it because it appears that no one else is going to go out there on the line and say it, but it appears to me, it would appear to me that this entire fiasco was staged. It was staged. That's my personal opinion. I am not trying to concoct any, spread any type of, conspiracy theories, nothing. This is my personal opinion. My personal opinion is this whole thing was staged. I believe it was staged. There's a lot of possibilities, but the ultimate goal for 45, which we all should know, is to stay out of prison. It's not to be in the White House. It's to stay out of prison. For him as an individual, as a narcissistic sociopath, it is always going to be, their first goal is always going to be to protect and take care of self. So his ultimate objective agenda is to stay out of prison. And apparently, he's willing to do anything to prevent that from happening, including allowing some sort of gunfire to be near him. You know, and taking his chances to see what might happen. Now, I don't know how everything went down, but all I can tell you is, to me personally, in my opinion, it appears to be a stage. Reasons: number one, I gave you, stay out of prison. Other reasons to appear, you know, that this is connected to staying out of prison. It would make him appear, which we saw this on the floor of the RNC. People just boohooing and crying when he told this little drawn out soliloquy about what happened to him on that stage. So, you know, their goal worked. Their goal worked with MAGA people. You know, to present him as a martyr, to present him as the chosen or protected one, to present him as the strong man. Strong man, by the way, that won't debate Kamala Harris, a woman. But that's y'all strong man, right? That's y'all strong man. Okay. Back to what I was saying. So to present him as you know, this martyr, and then you got some people that's just gonna feel sorry for him, and so they're gonna vote for him because they feel sorry for him, you know. So that was their objective. It appears that they, you know, completed, or they were successful with that objective. But here's what I would like to say to all you MAGA people, especially you people that come on my page and making your comments. I don't, maybe you're just bots. Maybe I'm talking to nobody. But if you are an actual human, I have a question for you. Someone died at that rally. There was a fireman that died at that rally. I believe he had children. He has a surviving wife. So was he just collateral damage? And are you all okay with that? All the people there that were injured, I believe 2 other people were shot, but several hundred people were injured. Maybe people running or people tripping and falling or what have you. They're all just considered collateral damage. Because I've heard no one from the Republican side. I've heard no red hat people saying, hey, wait a minute. None of this is really working out logically. And now you revealed your ear and we see there's no injury, but there are dead people. There's one person that is deceased. Don't you want more answers? Don't you want, like, this is, I'm sorry, but this is, I'm not going to say one of your people because this was a human being. So we're one big collective. But I just don't understand how you don't ask these questions. I really don't. I don't understand how even after COVID, some of your friends, some of your family members died because they listened to 45 and they drank bleach, or they took horse pills, or they just believed that it was magically going to go away. So they went here and there all willy-nilly with no mask. They didn't get vaccinated and they're dead. They're gone. But none of you want to hold this individual accountable for that. None of you want to hold this individual accountable for potentially, possibly staging an assassination attempt and someone dying. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And let me tell you this, the last thing I'm going to say about this. I have never, and to be honest with you, no, I've never known or seen a person whose life is truly in danger be focused on shoes or worried about giving a fist pump or anything like that. Like that's the furthest thing from your mind. Self-preservation. You're in fight or flight. Like you're just trying to make sure that you're safe and you're okay. And for those of you that are questioning, well, how would you know that? Because you never, yes, I have. I repeatedly been in situations where my life was in jeopardy. If you listen to my previous videos, you know I was in an abusive relationship. And I've talked about it quite extensively. So you know some of the things that I experienced in that relationship. Never once, never once did I think, oh my God, I got to have my shoes on so I can get away. Never once did I think, oh, let me stop and let the people know that I might be okay. Like, never once, never once. My first mind was to get away from this person that is continuing to beat me. Get away from the person who has the gun held at my head. Get away from the person who is playing Russian roulette with a gun to my head. Get away from the person who is choking the life out of me. Get away from the person who has just punched me in the stomach. Get away from the person who's swinging a golf club at me. Those are the things I was thinking about when my life was in jeopardy. I wasn't thinking about shoes. I wasn't thinking about, throwing up a fist pump or fight, fight, fight. I wasn't thinking about that. And I don't think anyone else ever in life who's who truly believed and felt that they were in a situation where they could possibly lose their life is thinking anything other than self-preservation. But you MAGA people, you go ahead and you believe whatever you want to believe. All I know is at the end of the day, you're not asking questions, you're not inquiring, you're not trying to hold the person's feet to the fire who continuously puts your people in danger. I hadn't even talked about January 6th. I didn't even get there yet. But you go ahead. You go ahead and let your leader lead you down the path. Stay safe and watch your back.